Cushing, host of Carolina Hoofbeats TV, and we're here today in Lumberton, North Carolina at the Southeast Agriculture and Event Center with the new Director of Agribusiness.
Agribusiness Manager.
Agribusiness Manager. And Michelle Shooter. And I wanted you guys to have an opportunity to get to know Michelle, because when we do events down here, or you guys are doing events down here or attending them, you know, you're going to have interaction with her, and she's pretty great. So I'm excited to introduce you. So welcome to the show.
Well, thank you.
And
thank you.
We're very excited that you're here.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your background in agriculture.
Yeah. Well, I have a very interesting background because I did not grow up on a farm. I did not grow up in rural North Carolina. I grew up in Greenville.
Mm-hmm.
My parents came to Greenville to teach at East Carolina University. Didn't grow up with family close by, that kind of thing. They picked up and moved there for a job. And just was fascinated by, I always have been fascinated by outside, trees, water, woods. And I didn't really know that agriculture was an option.
Right.
I mean, I was so naive just to not even know. So grew up there, went off to NC State. Again, didn't know that you could go to school to learn about agriculture. I always felt like I saw the farms and I saw the fields, but there was never that connection. And I never knew any farmers.
Mm-hmm.
So went to state at orientation, found out you could get an animal science degree. And I said, oh my goodness, sign me up. This is great. So I changed my major at orientation to animal science. And just fell in love with everything I could get my hands on and get experiences with. I worked at the dairy farm. Mm-hmm. And had a ball working and living there during the summer after my sophomore year. Worked in the turkey and poultry parts and departments. Just did everything I could do and just learned as much as I could. But I was so far behind because most of the students in my classes had grown up on farms, had FFA, had 4-H. So there's a sharp learning curve for me when they all seem to know everything. Right. So it was very intimidating. But graduated, went to work for a poultry research company in RTP, and ended up having a manufacturing plant down this way and moved down here. Soon after, the livestock agent position came up for Robeson County. And I knew it was a dream job. Knew it was something that I could get out and work with farmers and work with animals, and did that. I know, sorry, we are in the horse pavilion, so there are flies.
Sorry, it's fascinating with my face.
Yeah. So did extension for about 6.5 years. Loved it. Loved the relationships with the farmers. Loved working with animals. I actually, when we were building this facility, I was in on a lot of the meetings as the livestock agent when we were raising money for the stalls. Now they like me. Mm-hmm. And so had that background. A position came open with NCDA as a plant pest specialist, so I moved from animals and the farmers to kind of a regulatory position, and covered 5 counties and worked with nurseries and anywhere that sold perennial plants and shipping things overseas. So just another fascinating aspect of agriculture in our state. And still came to many events out here, and actually was the mayor of my small town for 4 years, so that was an interesting role, yes. So I did my time in public service with that, and when this position came open, I said, you know, that's the next step. If I can get in there and make that happen, that's the next step. And so this job has been a wonderful accumulation of my past experience with Extension, with NCDA, with my love of large animals, mm-hmm. and my love of people. So it's kind of in my mayor experience. So everything kind of tied up in a nice little bow. And I've been here for a little over a month, and I'm thrilled. I really think it's a good fit, and I'm excited to be here.
Well, we're very excited to have you. Now, for the folks watching, the Southeast Ag Center is one of the state's 4 facilities in North Carolina that they maintain. And it's a wonderful covered indoor arena with seating capacity, concession stands, camping spots, stalls. And I'll let Michelle give you all the specifics, but I have the Everything Equine Expo here and have had for 6 years, and many, many other things as well.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about the arena itself and the pavilion, I guess you guys call it. I call it arena. But tell us about the size of it and the things that it can accommodate.
Okay, well, as you see, I've got my cheat sheet because I am still new, so I'm going to use play that card as long as I can. Mm-hmm. So I do have my cheat sheet, and it says the indoor pavilion includes a show arena of over 32,000 square feet. So we have a concession stand area, which is where we're seated in today, a vending concourse, seating area, a show office, and we actually have an upstairs show office that you can look out above over the pavilion, and a downstairs office. And we have 100 stalls conveniently located right here beside our pavilion. We also have an additional 100 stalls on the other side of our facility, but we really have a dream and a goal of getting those stalls moved over here. So everything on this third of the property will be horse related. But yeah, we're cleaning up right now. We had a big concert event on Sunday and a rodeo. And we've had everything from all different kinds of horse shows to dog shows, concerts, galas, just anything and everything. And like you mentioned, the RV sites, it's just a wonderful facility that can accommodate RVs that were easily accessible off of I-95 and 74. Easy to turn with your trailer, easy to pull in and not worry about running into anything.
Right.
It's a wonderful location with lots of green space to park those campers and RVs and to ride your horse.
Yes, definitely. And when we have our event here, we have an obstacle course in the back that we have the Trail Challenge obstacles that stay here year round, and we add a few to spice it up. We have an outdoor open arena in the front that folks with horse shows use as a warm-up pen. I use it as a demo area. There's another arena in the back that is also an open arena that you can use for warm-up or separate events, plus acres and acres and acres of parking, which is a pristine thing.
Yes.
50 camper spots that are up to 50 amp, 30 to 50 amp services, showers. I mean, whatever you need for your event is here.
That's right.
And being at exit 13 off I-95, you have access to multiple states, which makes it very easy for people to find and come in. And it doesn't matter how big the rigs, this facility can accommodate them.
That's exactly right.
So tell us a little bit about how your schedule is. I know COVID, miraculously, the horse industry got stronger, and my shows were the only thing we couldn't do because I sold tickets and it was a public attendant kind of an event rather than a horse show. But tell us how your schedule is filling up now, and how are you doing with that?
Yeah, that is one of the, you try to look for blessings where they are, and COVID was such a horrible thing for all of us to go through, but it seemed like agriculture really, people paid attention more. They wanted their food local. Our farmers markets and our local farmers had a great season with selling produce, and people wanted to get out into fresh air. So very similar for us. We have this wonderful fresh air and open facility, so you can spread out and you can move around a lot. So we slowed down definitely during COVID, but we're back and we have been very busy. I have a wonderful staff out here and they make it happen. And we have the pavilion with all the RV spots. We also have a meeting center that can seat 500 people. We host weddings and all kinds of things there. Quinceañeras are a new thing that I'm learning about.
Yeah.
And then we have the old farmers market side that is an open air farmers market. And so it can accommodate car shows and an annual plant sale, that kind of thing. So yeah, we're very busy. Our pavilion stays booked. We're very excited and proud to work with everyone, including you and all that you've done for this facility. And yeah, it stays busy. So if people want to come, we want you here. But we just need to go ahead and get you on the calendar.
Absolutely. And you can look at the calendar on your website.
You can.
And tell us what that is, because I can never.
Well, I'll tell you a secret. I just always Google Southeastern Ag Center.
That's what I do as well.
It comes up.
It's part of
very
the
easy.
Department of Agriculture's website, but that's a huge critter. So just
It
Google
is.
Southeastern Agriculture and Event Center in Lumberton, and then pick calendar, and you can see what dates are open.
You can see what dates are open.
And if you're doing a 2023 event, it's really good to go ahead and get those dates now, because the dates do fill up.
Sure. And we'd love to have you if you're in the area and you can come by for a tour. We'd love to take you around the facility and show you all the things in person. And if you're out of state or a couple states away, we can certainly talk to you on the phone or show you. Lumberton Tourism Bureau did an amazing video of our facility with drone footage that shows. It's just a beautiful video of that. So please, if we can help you in any way, just contact us and let us know, and we'll be sure to share this amazing facility with you.
And another really good thing about this facility versus some other of the horse arenas is that this facility lends itself to events that charge admission, as well as horse shows that don't. So, whatever your need is, they can fill it pretty easily. Now let's talk about the meeting center, because the meeting center is a whole different animal. And it's heated and air conditioned, which is a very big plus, because every horse arena is not, but they do have wonderful fans here. So I used to do my expo in August. It was never unbearable. But
Yeah.
the meeting center, now tell us a little bit about that. It's got classrooms, it's got some kind of
It does.
catering facility thing.
Get up my little piece of paper, but yes. So it's a 7,000 square foot meeting center, and it's perfect for social functions. So again, like I said, we've had everything from weddings, family reunions. The hospital has their big gala out here every year. And the amazing thing about our meeting center is we have the walls that can be moved. So we can go from the using the whole space, 500 people, to individual halls. And last weekend, for example, we had a group over on the left side, and we had a group over on the right side, and then we had the hall in the middle and soundproof walls, so that 2 events could be going on at the same time. Yeah, but it's a wonderful space. We have stereo sound, projector screen. We have a back door that raises open so you can bring in sound equipment if you have a DJ or a band coming in.
And you know, it's a perfect facility not only for the social events but for conventions. You know, if your group looks for a space that they can have their annual convention, the meeting center lends itself beautifully for that, because we used to come for the stakeholders meeting pretty often down here, and the horse council's done events down here, and like she says, it can accommodate from 100 people to 500 people without batting an eye.
Yeah, without batting an eye.
You know,
and it has a whole commercial kitchen. So I would love to host some canning classes or something like that out here where people can come and use our kitchen. And with the washing machine and all the things you expect with a commercial kitchen. Yeah, so that's nice to have. And just bathrooms. We have bathrooms galore. I
know. And when you have an event, that's a very necessary
necessary thing.
For sure. Now let's talk a little bit about the old farmers market. Okay. I remember just very dimly when it was a farmers market, but tell us a little bit about ideas. You said car shows. That was intriguing.
Yeah, that's you know, the pavilion books itself. It kind of sells itself. So it's an amazing facility. You just have to show people and they fall in love with it. And the meeting center is very similar. But the old farmers market was built for people to come in with large loads of produce or whatever they were selling. And so it's got bays. It already has the vendor spots set up on its concrete floor. And it's got heat. It does not have air conditioning, but another thing on a wish list is to have air conditioning, so one day we can rent it year round. But yeah, it's just this great open facility, and the sky's the limit.
I know.
It's just amazing.
You know, thinking outside the box, I think the vendor spaces have electricity accessible to all of them.
That's right.
So, you know, you could have any kind of an event. It would be ideal for an outdoor craft show type scenario.
A plant show.
Yes.
A plant sale.
A flower show. I mean, there's so many things.
So many things. And an annual car show where you can actually pull the cars into the bays and have the doors open, and people can go and look inside. Right. And there's green space around that, so you can have indoor, outdoor vendors. You can have food trucks. There's electricity for food trucks. There's a wonderful green space back behind it where you could set up an outside activity, a bouncy house for children. I mean, it really, I'm not over exaggerating when I say the sky is the limit.
And the fact that it doesn't have air conditioning is really not an issue, because all of the bay doors open, and when you, with the electric and fans, you won't be miserable in there. Your customers will still want to shop and they'll still want to do stuff. Be an awesome place for a food truck rodeo. There's just so many opportunities.
And lots of parking, and again, lots of bathrooms over there. So it's just an amazing space.
All right.
That's really where I want to see some, and the interim manager that came in before me, his name is Tad Atkinson, and he really we were using it for storage, and he said, we could be renting this facility, and as soon as the guys worked on getting it cleaned up, it started renting. And we've already had several weekend events out there. We had a mother-son dance, we had a dog show, so it's starting to get booked up too, now that more people are learning about it.
Absolutely, and you know my wheels are turning, because I love a 3-ring circus. I love something on every square inch of the property when I do an event, because why not? You know, it's
85 acres, and a lot of it is green space that can be built upon and used, and
So, talking about the facility, the whole facility, tell me what some of your bucket list items are and dreams that you want to see, your vision for where you're going to take this in the future.
Sure. How much time do we have?
Well, as long as you need. This is important stuff, but break it down by each one.
Well, as far as the pavilion goes, like I've said earlier, we need 2 more stall barns. We need all our horse stalls over on this facility, so you don't have horses over there while we're trying to do a car show or something like that. You need all the horses safely over here and the RVs safely over here. So, and you know, you and I had talked about dressage, just all these different things that we could do with the space back here. And we do have to keep the green space open, because that's where the RVs and the horses can ride and that kind of thing. So really for right now, my main goal over here is just we need those 2 stall barns to get all our stalls nice and settled over here permanently. So that's my main goal for this part of the facility.
And wait a minute. And Border Belt Horse Association has worked very hard and raised money, and with the North Carolina Horse Council,
that's right,
to build wash bays.
And she's covering for me, because that should have been something I mentioned much earlier.
I'm trying to remember all the stuff, because there's so much that goes on here. But now tell us where the wash bays are going to be built, because I
Okay.
don't know that answer.
So there are 2 wash bays in the works, in progress, because a lot of things, we're waiting patiently and we're waiting for the
Government
funds.
moves slow, but it's coming.
But it's coming, and this was slow, but we got it, and it's a wonderful place. So one of the wash pits will be located right at the front of our facility on the, I'm trying to get my bearings. So when you come in the driveway to get to the pavilion, there'll be one conveniently located right there to the front of the stalls.
Okay.
And then the other one, so you'll turn and go by the 2 stall barns. On the other side, there'll be a wash pit over there.
Okay.
And we've also talked about putting in a farrier barn and some, like a lounge area for out there connected to that wash pit somewhere in that area, and then having the 2 stall barns on the other side. So you'd have 2 stall barns, the little area with the wash pit and the lounge area, and then the other 2 stall barns. So yes, thank you for bringing that up. And we're very, it's certainly, this is a community-built place. And the Horse Council and the Border Belt have worked really hard to get things out here and to get these things done. And we're very excited about the wash pits.
And another big plus to me for here is that it's very well lit at night. So if a horse got out or a person needed help, you can see. You can walk. I mean, you don't have to be afraid to walk to your car or the camper or to your horse stall or any of that stuff at night.
That's right.
Very well lit, very safe area, to be down here.
Yes, and then the fence completely around the 85 acres. So if a horse was to get loose, we're off the road and there's a safe space to catch the horse and to get the horse back safely to the stall. We would love to see more trails and obstacle courses that could go in, and some things that I think it's amazing that, say you have a new horse and you're getting ready to go 2 states away, but you want to practice that horse on a trailer before you go 2 states away. So you can get loaded up, drive over here, unload your horse and ride around the facility, get the horse accustomed to a new place, traveling, your trailer, you're driving, get the horse back on and then go home. I mean, that's a safety thing for you and the horse.
Do you still have day riding in the arena?
We do still have day riding.
If your horse has never been in an arena, you should take
Absolutely.
advantage of that, because it's not a very high fee. And you can come and ride all day inside the arena and let him get accustomed to it, and feel what that's like, because it's different.
It is. And I've read a lot of the Temple Grandin books talking about what the animals see and how the animals' perception. So what better way to practice than in a local facility that's not hours and hours away. So yeah, I love it. From my office window, I can look out and see horses around the facility, and that's just really cool.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure I'll think of more things for pavilion in a minute.
We can always come back to it.
So, and this is actually a no-brainer to me for all 3 of our facilities, is we really want to engage the public and educate the public. So yeah, the horse industry and people with horses understand agriculture a little better than somebody who might not have large animals. But we have this amazing facility and all this wall space to do engagement and education. So I'm really trying to figure out ways to put posters on the wall and so when you walk in to use the restroom, there's a skeleton poster of a horse, and then the kids can go in and go, that's what my horse looks like, that's the skeletal system. Just something that they're learning, and how much the horse industry, I always think with agriculture, the horse industry and the plant industry, they kind of are sometimes forgotten as part of agriculture, and they're very influential in our state and in our county. So horse industry statistics and then what goes into that, and farriers and veterinarians, and what role you can play in agriculture, even though you might not be a farmer. You might not be a rancher, but the different things you do.
One of the most interesting things I discovered as I was doing the show, and I used to do a magazine, was the amount of careers in the horse industry. There is over 400 jobs that are directly related to the horse industry, and many of them you don't even have to own a horse to be part of it. I mean, it's just crazy good, the opportunity that just the horses, and I'm going to be learning soon about the other facets of agriculture and animals, but I bet there's just as many with all of those things as well.
Oh yeah, you talk about sales and feed and fertilizer and seed and
CPAs
all the
for
different
farms.
CPAs for farm,
Television host.
Television host, livestock agent.
Yeah. Management opportunities. I mean, there's so much, and this affords us, is such a blessing to have this here, because this affords us, like all the centers in the state do, so much that we wouldn't have access to. Our neighboring states don't have facilities like this, so this is really a big deal.
Yeah. So just piggybacking on that, I want to have educational opportunities everywhere you go. I want, when you walk up to one of our trees, to know that came from a local plant nursery and this is the tree name and the Latin name. So kids can go and say, I mean, you think of the mind of a child And even adults, you see a tree, but when you learn the name of the tree, it becomes more,
Oh, and
you know?
how many times have you thought, I'd love to plant this plant in my yard that I saw at the state fair,
That's right.
but I can't remember the name.
That's exactly right.
But that would be such a great thing
Yeah.
here. And kids' field trips?
Field trips.
Awesome idea.
Oh, ag days. I
Mhm.
mean, yeah. Yeah, so that definitely want educational opportunities. We're working currently in our event center. We have a wonderful glass room that's a ticket booth,
Mhm.
and it doesn't get utilized a whole lot. So we're going to put up an exhibit in there. So when people walk through our doors, they know we're NCDA, they know we're promoting agriculture, they know we're supporting agriculture, and have an exhibit with the barn and the horses and everything. So they might come in there for a reunion
Mhm.
and not come over to the pavilion, but realize that this is an ag center, it's the equestrian center,
Yes.
all those things. And I'd love to, the tree line driveway, we have crepe myrtles currently, but I'd love to do some kind of legacy drive where if you had a farmer in your family that you'd like to plant a tree in memory of them,
Mhm.
that's another kind of side project that I've got, to have a legacy drive with trees,
I
live
love
oaks
that.
or something, willow oaks that are gonna be here for a long time, that you can come and visit a tree that's in honor of a loved one. Let's see, so that's the meeting center space. And we are a 20-year-old facility, so there are definitely upgrades and things that need to be done.
Sure.
So there's a lot of little projects like that I won't go into, but just.
Well, I
with
see
the-
you've got, antique farm implements, and that wasn't here the last time I was here, so that's another nice thing that
Well,
you have on display.
It is, and it was here. It's been here the whole time you've been
Really?
here, but it wasn't visible.
No.
So now it's moved over and that you can see it, and kids and adults can go, they see these big combines now and tractors, but that's how it started.
Mhm.
And there are things that were connected to a mule out there.
Yes.
So again, that's that educational component that I just get so excited about. So yes, thank you for noticing the
Yeah.
improvement. And then with the community building, it's just, the wish list is getting that air conditioning. I would love to see that facility rented year-round.
Mhm.
I think it could be absolutely rented year-round. There's a gate down there too. So with this facility, you have a gate for the horses, a gate for the event center, and gates for the community building.
Mhm.
And you can have different things going on at the same time, and generating revenue and educating our public.
Absolutely. I'm just so excited that you're here, because this is going to open up such a big world. And the state does have 4 facilities. There's one in Williamston, one in Raleigh, and one in Fletcher. But the location and the convenience of Lumberton, hands down, of course I'm biased, but hands down, this is the best facility, because it is easy to tell people how to get here. There's no traffic, there's no hassle. Get off at exit 13, drive up to the first exit and get off there, and it's right there. It's so easy.
Well, this whole area, Robinson County in general, is it can be such a meeting center, because we do have Raleigh, Charlotte, Wilmington, Charleston. We are really in the center of all these major hubs. We're not a major urban area, but we certainly could be a hub for all these areas coming together to do events.
But yet, Lumberton has the infrastructure,
Mhm.
because there are multiple chain hotels here and chain restaurants and delicious locally owned restaurants and
I had
shops.
lunch at Adelia's today. It's a
I know.
local Italian restaurant
Oh, I
that
know.
it's amazing.
Yes, ma'am. Arnold's, is fabulous. And then downtown, there's all kinds of cool shops. So oftentimes, when you're doing a horse show and probably in other agriculture events, maybe not everybody in the family is on board for that event, but there's stuff to do here. You're, an hour and a half from Myrtle Beach?
Oh, yeah. The beaches are all within 2 hours, closer to an hour distance.
Mhm.
We have the Lumber River is a scenic native river.
Kayaking and
Kayaking,
canoeing?
Camping. There's
Mhm.
you could come and spend the night with us, but go out for a day on your kayak and go down the Lumber River. It's gorgeous.
Mhm.
It's gorgeous. And and the leadership in Lumberton is excellent. They've done, in Robinson County, and they've done so much to build up the downtown area. They put in a new pavilion where they can do Live After 5 events. So, and that's right within walking distance of the locally owned bars and restaurants. So there is. We had Live After 5 last week, and people from Fayetteville were coming down to Lumberton to come hear bands play out loud.
Right.
So,
And there's a mall here. There's every major store that I can think of here. There's banks, there's post offices. There's really nothing that you're going to need that you can't access within 10 minutes of this arena.
oh, sure. And we have a Tractor Supply and an Agri Supply and several locally owned.
Builder's discount if you need, any kind of repair parts, Lowe's. There's everything.
We're the best of all worlds, because we do have that rural feel, and we are very rural, but there are amenities close by and a little bit further out
Mhm.
that you can go visit. We have vineyards and wineries and
That's true.
local
That's true.
farm events and farm
Couple of
tours.
universities. I mean, there's just so much here. So if you're out there and you're thinking about events, or you're thinking about coming to mine or anybody else's, be sure and check it out, because it's really worth it. The hotels in this area, several of them give discounts if you're attending a horse show, if you let them know. The Visitors Bureau has a $10 off coupon. If you go to them and in person, they'll give you the $10 off coupon for your hotel. I mean, there's a lot of things to bring you here.
There are. And keep you happy while you're here.
Absolutely.
And take good care of you while you're here. We've definitely have that southern charm and that hospitality going for us.
Absolutely. A very active social media site.
We do. We are on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to look into Instagram and Twitter, but right now Facebook it is, and I do try to actively post on Facebook and share the events that are going on, and also share pictures of the setup of the different facilities. So say you wanted to have something maybe we haven't mentioned, you can go on our Facebook page and there's photo albums of the different meeting rooms and how they're set up in different ways. So if you've thought of something and you might want to host it out here, go on there and look and see.
So I hope you've enjoyed today's episode and meeting Michelle, and I hope that if you have some kind of a sponsorship idea or something that you'd like to see out here, think about planning an event, or talk to Michelle about, maybe she can find somebody that would be interested in bringing that to Lumberton, because the area is just so receptive and so helpful to make those dreams come true. May not happen overnight, may not be everybody's dream that gets actualized, but if you don't throw it out there, they can't know about it. So thank you for watching. I appreciate that as always, and we look forward to bringing you our next episode.